Hello everyone, welcome again to our e-learning portal. So we are discussing about the class and objects in this module. So we have discussed about like what is class, what is objects, and how we can use the self keyword and all the things. So in this session we are going to cover about the init parameter, like how we can use the initializer parameter in the class. So let's quickly see the agenda for today and then we'll start for it. So yes guys, so today's our agenda is about the init parameter, and like I will not say it is like as a parameter. I'll say we have a kind of constructor. It is like init will be used as a constructor, and it is a kind of function which will be created inside class. And also we'll see how we can use the init parameter, what is the use of it, how it can like easy some parts there. And definitely we'll see some examples on them because of the better understanding, and then we'll move for this. So let's quickly discuss about init parameter and then we'll move further. So let's start guys. So yes guys, we have the class and objects, and now we are going to focus about the init parameter, or you can say init function. I'll say it is a function. So guys, in the last video we have seen how we can create a class by the class and name whatever we want to pass inside a class, let's say base. And after that we can create some function inside it, def11, then we can have def12, then we can have def13. Like these are the functions. Now we all know, like when we create a function we have to call them. Like if I have created an object of that class, now we will call that function only at that time that will be executed. But now what we want some function which will be automatically get invoked or automatically get executed. So that is called an init function. So init is a function which will automatically executed whenever we call the I will not say call, I will say whenever we create the object. Like whenever you create an object of that class, that object will automatically invoke the initializer function. Like let's suppose just take an example. Let's say whenever you create whenever you can say open a bank account, you will automatically get the account number and IFSC code and all the things. Or whenever the person will born, they start breathing, there is no like any, you can say some functionality which they have to learn. They will learn how to breathe, they will learn how to you can say how their internal organs will work automatically. So like these are not some things which we have to learn or that will be done after some time. Some part will be automatically done when the object will be created or when something will happen. So in that manner, init is a function which will automatically get executed whenever we create the object. We will not do anything for that. Now talking about some other functionalities that will be done day by day. Like if you want to apply for ATM, if you want to apply for debit, if you want to apply for any loan, then these are the things which we can do after the creation of the object. Like if we want to move, if we learn to speak, if we learn to eat, all the things, these are the things which we learn, but some of the parts will be automatically done for us. So whenever we want some functionality which will be automatically executed inside a class, then at that time we will use the init function. And the functionality which we want to perform manually, that can be done with the help of function. So let's check it out how we can use this part in Python. So let me just open that Python for us guys, and then we'll see the code for that. So I'm creating a class, let's say this again. I'm just taking it as an example, it's not like something called necessary. And I'm creating a function that's a def hello here, which will definitely take self, because whenever we are creating any function we have to define the self keyword. Now say here, let's say hello function. In the same manner, I will define def hi, which will again take self and print that is hi function. Now first of all, let me show you guys. If I will just create an object of the base class, let's see, b1 will be our object for the class base. And if I run this code from here, you can see I'm not getting any output because I have not called any of the function. But in the same manner, here, let's suppose if I want to execute any function, I have to call it like this, like b1 dot hello. So that will work here. Let's check it. That is the hello function. But guys, if I want to execute something, whenever this object will be created, so at that time I will say, okay, I have to execute it. So for that I get def. I am using double underscore init double underscore. Now this is mandatory. This is a syntax which we have to follow. So I've written this part, and then I write self no dot inside it as a print. This is initializer function. Now here guys, you can see again I'm not calling anything. I'm not calling anything. Now let's check it out. What will be the output for this? So here you can see it is writing this is initializer function. So the init function will automatically get called whenever we are creating any object for that. So we need not to do. So the initializer function will automatically get called or get invoked at that time. So this is the using. Basically, you can see the use of the initializer function. Now, like the working of the initializer, I will not say the use. So let's check it out, like how we can use that part. So I will take the previous example of rectangle which we have created at that time. So let me just first of all click here that code, that is class rectangle, and inside that I'll say, okay, we have one function that is a getDim, which will, or setDim, which will set a dimension. We'll take self, length and breadth. We'll say the print length and breadth set. Then what will be self dot len will be equals to L, and self dot vre will be equals to P. After that I'll say def area as a function here, which will again take the self, and I can say, okay, I want to print area is, that is self dot len into self dot vr as a breadth. Now in the same manner I will say, okay, the area, the length and breadth is clear for us, so just create perimeter also. So let's say def perimeter, and I will say perimeter is 2 multiplied self dot len plus vr. That is a simple formula of the length and breadth, so I'm not going to explain these all. Everything is done as of now. Now here what I will do is I'm just creating a rectangle object, let's say R1, that will be a rectangle, and now I'm saying, okay, R1 dot set dim 10, 20, and then I'll say R1 dot area. So now we set the length and breadth, so it will print the area. We don't have any problem or any doubt here. You can see it's printing the area, but it is the chance there will be a chance in which some user will create the rectangle object, and after that they will not going to set the dimension, and they can directly call the perimeter or the area function. At that time it should give an error. Let's check it out. And that's correct. Now what we want is, whenever someone is creating the rectangle object, at that time it is necessary for them to first of all set the dimension. Now how we can do it as a mandatory? So for that guys, I will use the initializer function. Instead of setDim, I will say, okay, use it as an initializer function, because when you will use it as an initializer function and user is creating the object, it will ask for the length and breadth directly, because when we create an object, the initializer function will automatically get executed. We need not to call this setDim as of now. So what happened there is, if you are creating a rectangle, at that time you have to pass the values, the length and breadth. And if you're not passing the values like this, in this part you're not passing the value, you can see here it will say that for the first the length and breadth is set, but when you are creating the R2 rectangle, you are not passing the length and breadth. That will not going to accept it. So now this is basically, you can say, a dependency, or you can say a mandatory part in which the user should pass the length and breadth whenever they want to use the area or perimeter. So whenever they pass the value, that will be acceptable and that can be work fine. But if you are thinking that okay, I will just create an object and not passing the value, that will not be a chance here, because you are just accepting all the values in the initializer function, and initializer will automatically get called whenever we are creating the objects. So that is the benefit of using the initializer function. So guys, we have learned like what is init function, how we can use it, and how it is different from another functions because it will get automatically invoked, and also like when we pass some arguments, how we can pass the values for that arguments, and it will work as, you can say, the first function of a class. It will automatically get executed. So let's check our agenda, guys, for today. So we have seen what is the init parameter, we have used the init parameter, the use of that, and also we have seen the examples on them. So we have successfully completed our agenda for today about the things. So at last, again guys, thank you for joining this session, and feel free to share your feedback, or if you have any doubts, don't hesitate to ask. Just leave your question in the comment section. We will definitely be here to help all of you, and do a lot more practice on class and objects. In the upcoming video, we will just going to learn about the OOPS concept. What is OOPS concept and how we can work on that. So stay tuned guys. Do more practice, learn a lot more on Python. Bye bye, take care.